Tell everybody the good news of Corey LaJoie, and I appreciate that.
She usually gets you there by preaching from across the top.
What's going on, y'all? This is Josh from Team Super Shoe, and welcome back to another episode of The Shoe Show. We are not talking about off-white Nike Blazers. Now we are talking about the one and only Corey LaJoie, the Super Shoe of NASCAR, and just anything NASCAR related. Super pumped to have you guys here. It is the 17th of March. We only have a few days left before Atlanta, and we have on the shoe of The Shoe Show himself, Corey LaJoie. He's going to sit down and talk to us, talk about last year, and, we're just going to kick back and catch up. So, y'all, enjoy Corey LaJoie. All right, we'll start in 3, 2.
Man, well, I feel honored that y'all asked me to be on the Shoe Show.
All right, y'all, we are back and brought on a guest that you may know. He is a professional race car driver. He's also a kickballer, podcaster, possible substitute for the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. We'll see. And semi-professional WWE wrestler, Mr. Corey LaJoie. Corey, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. I guess it's nice to finally be back on the show that talks about my life. So might as well get on here and talk some more about it.
Yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been a good year. And, so I wanted to bring up the WWE thing that you guys had, you did last year where you went to WWE Raw, and you made Team Super Shoe proud. We were all we thought that it was so cool that you not only went, but you got a TV spot and you were like, your inner Stone Cold came out. That was pretty killer, man.
Oh, dude. Well, if you're going to do it, man, you got to lean in and do it, right? Like the only way that thing sees some airtime is if you really give some good content and lean into it. And AJ Styles, he was a true pro. He came on the podcast. We talked for a little bit, and he came into my world, and I came into his world, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I grew up watching wrestling, and wanted to know, did you take a bump? I know I saw you guys going and running in the ring, but did you actually take a bump where you fell in the ring and felt how hard that thing was?
Well, I think when you're talking about wrestling, you have to be careful with what taking a bump might mean. I have to
that's slang.
Pass the drug test. So I don't want to take any special kind of bumps like that. But man, I hit the ropes, like I bounced off the ropes a couple of times, and I hit it. My back cracked, a couple of vertebrae were like, and I was like, oh shit! It like took my breath away because those guys use them like, especially AJ, he uses them like bungee cords, man. But those things are like you grab on and you can only move it like this, and those guys are throwing themselves into it. So I definitely learned and gave those guys much more appreciation to give those guys much more appreciation what they do, and because they are true pros. People might think it's fake, but like what they're subjecting their body to, and they're leaning into their characters and continue to redefine themselves each and every day to just continue to grow their fan base and grow their character. Like that's not for everybody, and a lot of people probably wouldn't be cut out for the big leagues like that.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely not the bump that maybe some of us knowing the lingo is more bump. They call it the bump when you slam your back against the mat. I guess they do that over and over again just to train their body to get used to that the slam on, because it's just wood under that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. It's not soft.
Yeah,
it moves but it is not soft.
Yeah. So, Corey, we are just coming off of the off season, and I know you're a little bit of a bourbon aficionado. Wanted to know if there's anything new in the LaJoie cabinet.
Man, a good friend of mine, Robbie Benton, he bought me a Blanton's Black Label for my birthday. It was a birthday / 200 start gift. I believe that bottle was over $300. So him and I cracked it a couple months ago. That thing's super good, but I'll tell you, something that is really good and pound for pound solid is Rabbit Hole. It's a Rabbit Hole. It's a red label. There's a green label. It's a rye. The red label, I forgot what it's called. Something with a C. I would definitely look into that because I found myself going to that, either an Angel's Envy rye aged in Caribbean casks is really good, and that Rabbit Hole is what I find myself sipping on lately.
Yeah, I had that Angel Envy rye. It might have been a year ago now. But my buddy, who flew down from Alaska, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's only $90 a bottle." I was like, "Okay, cool. This will be the only time I ever drink this." So
Yeah, I at one point in time I had 3 bottles of that. Dude, I go through that like pretty quick, and that's usually the first thing I give some buddies that come over. You got to give them something good, got to treat
yeah,
them.
yeah. So spurred up a question based off of your website. You guys are selling kind of like a Jack Daniel's Corey LaJoie whiskey knockoff shirt. So I wanted to know Corey LaJoie's whiskey, age 7 years. What would it be? What would it taste like?
It would probably taste like copper, some sort of like, penny taste. I don't know. I would if I had to pick like a taste palette, I'd probably go. Man, this is in the minority of probably bourbon drinkers, but I've been finding myself liking Scotch a little more and kind of the smoky taste. So like a kind of like a Magellan 15 years, something like that, a little smoky, not so much campfire like pine needles necessarily, but something like a little bit smoky, or just it's hard to beat Jack Daniels, really and truly. You get some Gentleman Jack and you can sip on that all night.
Yeah, I got one of those like a smoker box for Christmas, but they got it just for me so I can put my whiskey glasses in there, and it looks cool and all. I don't know if it really makes a difference. I like it when you go out to the bar, but drinking it at home, I'm not sure if it's doing the same thing or not, but
Well, it is scientifically proven that food cooked at home doesn't taste as good as food at a restaurant because you're not the one that prepared it.
yeah,
That's what works. Well, it does see about $14 going on making it yourself than going to a bar and drinking a smoked old fashioned.
right. Yep. So discussing last year a little bit, running the page on Team Super Shoe on Facebook and doing the show and everything. I also run into a lot of the fans and, I try to monitor everything. And you brought in a ton of fans when, we had the Atlanta thing. And I almost feel like you brought in more fans because of you losing the race, but your, humbleness after the race and talking to Chase afterwards and everything. People really loved that about you. And then you also had some haters with the beef with Suarez a little bit and the Roval and all that. And Spire in general, people always think they have the answers of, how to make things better. They want to see you succeed, but they seem to bash the team at the same time. So I wanted to ask you, man, how do you handle the stress or, the comments that you get from fans sometimes on Twitter or wherever it is?
Well, rule number one as a professional athlete, you never read the comments ever because people that aren't in the trenches with you, their opinions don't matter. They really don't. The people whose opinion matters are on the other side of this door here at Spire Motorsports, Sparks, Roy, my road crew, my wife, our partners, my bosses, right? Like those are the opinions that matter. Everybody else doesn't know the full story. They might think that they know enough or a lot, but they don't know all the inner workings, all the tools that we're working with, trying to get better. And we've seen just over the last couple of weeks to start the season, and even to finish last year, we finished the season strong with however many finishes. I think we finished 6 out of the last 7 in the top 20. Like that's the trajectory that we're going. And it's easy to sit there and motors and this and that and setups. Like, hey, newsflash, there are 24 to 26 factory backed teams. So like just because you get another tool or just because you get upgraded an engine package, it's not like those guys are getting worse. Those guys are consistently working to get better as well. So the only person you can really compare yourself to is yourself week over week, what you're learning, what your database looks like. So yeah, you just don't read the comments. I'm completely off social media, which I love. Sean Brennan's doing all my from Alpha Vision Media. He's doing my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Obviously, we'll shoot the content, and he posts it and has all the keys to it. So that's just another layer that I don't have to look at and allows me to focus on the stuff that matters. But, at the end of the day, man, like people are always going to have their opinion and they're going to have their people they like and they're going to have their people that dislike it. I don't find myself bogged down by that because at the end of the day, the loudest voices are in the cheap.
Right. Yep. All right, man. Yeah. So talking about all that, want to let you know, all of us, at Team Super Shoe, for most of us are very down to earth, and we're grateful for you and your podcasting. You have helped open our eyes to the small teams battles and kind of the peek behind the curtain a little bit, which we really appreciate because, a lot of us, including myself, I grew up, being a fan of Richard Petty, Jimmy Johnson. I've been a fan of people, and I thought, well, hey, if you're not winning, then you suck. I had no idea how diverse and how much there goes into these teams and the cars. And, I thought it was all ARCA racing and everybody was exactly the same. So wanted to let you know, man, that we appreciate that. And also I talked to Roy in Daytona, and I chatted with him for like a half hour at the pit box, and afterwards I realized I know nothing about this sport. So and he
like what? I mean, you've been watching a long time. What did you learn that you didn't realize?
Well, just the amount of work, like you said, the amount of work that it takes to get these cars and right for each weekend, the sim stuff that you guys have to do. He was talking about the amount of the monopoly of the sport and where do you put your money. And he was talking about more about like, it's more about, the people you have in the team and what they do, as opposed to, how expensive, like Hendrick's engine is versus Gibbs or, Spires or whatever. So he talked to me so much, and I left thinking, man, I know nothing. So humbled me for sure. So we can all have that moment where we're kind of like, God, like if they only would do X, Y, and Z, then we'd be winning. But really, we're just fans that, only are experts of sitting on the couch. So,
Yes, I appreciate you saying that and realizing that. But there's not a lot of people that get to that reality of like, there's a reason why the tip of the spear is so small, and there's only so many people that get to spend a lot of time at the top, right? Because there's only so many people that can put the work in to get there, and there's only so many people that are smart enough to stay there. There's been a lot of people come and go and kind of get pushed out of the sport because they can't adjust or can't continue to redevelop themselves or learn new things. So, I can tell you this: the places that I've been with the limited competitiveness at everywhere I've been prior to the last couple of years here at Spire, like if I couldn't do it, then I would have been fired a long time ago, right? Like there's been guys with more money. There's been guys with probably more stock in terms of people's perception of their driving ability. And there's a reason to keep calling me back. Keep like there's just, I'm not going to give myself a pat on the back, but like my seat, anybody can come take my seat if they want it, but they're not going to go get it. I can promise you, they're going to have to beat me, and they're not going to beat me.
Yeah. So speaking of being a fan, it's been a lot of fun to do the show, to do the page, and to, kind of have, this access a little bit. But at the end of the day, I'm just a big fan of you. And I've had some of your hero cards that either I got at the tracks or mailed through ordering a shirt, and it comes with it. And I've noticed something that's bugged me for years. And I finally want you to answer it. So you usually have listed, your name, your birth date, where you're from, all that. One of them is your favorite movie. Now, there's a lot of great movies in the world, and this movie's not a horrible movie, but I want to know why Remember the Titans is Corey LaJoie's favorite movie.
There's only, there's a short list. And obviously if you're a race car driver and you put Days of Thunder, it's just stereotypical, but obviously it's in my top two. So I wanted to put something a little bit different so everybody doesn't like look at the back of the card and be like, oh, of course it's Days of Thunder, right? But Remember the Titans, obviously just for its true story. Love some Denzel Washington, how he portrayed just all that prejudice and all the issues they overcame with that team. I feel like it's super impactful. And I don't know if I've ever watched that movie, and I've probably watched it over 50 times, that I don't cry. every time. So, when Gary gets hit in the car and he's watching the championship game from the hospital, that hits deep. That stuff hurts. So, one of my all time favorite movies. A lot of impactful scenes from that movie, and obviously the reason behind it is another reason what makes it so good.
If there's a number 2, what would you put there?
Well, Days of Thunder's number 2, but I would put another one that I always watch when the two Brad Pitt movies, the war movies, Inglourious Bastards and Fury. Fury might take the cake there for me. Man, I've really been wanting to watch the old Quentin Tarantino movie with Samuel L. Jackson. I loved Quentin Tarantino movies. What's the one with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson?
I don't know. I haven't followed Quentin Tarantino besides his horror stuff that came out early 2000s.
Oh man, hang on. Something with I've been talking about it for the last. I mean, I'm a big Quentin Tarantino guy. Obviously, he did Inglourious Bastards, but Django, Hateful Eight. Didn't love his latest, which was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or didn't love Kill Bill either. Pulp Fiction. That was the one.
Pulp Fiction. Okay, yeah.
I haven't seen that one in a while, but that's kind of like the style that I go for. Man, honestly, we saw, my wife and I went and saw on Monday, Jesus Revolution. That new movie came out. Super good, man. Super good. I cried like a baby a couple times. That thing. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I was a big fan. I haven't seen a whole lot of the Christian filmed movies that's come out. The one though I did really like was Courageous, and me and my wife actually used one of the songs from that movie for our wedding song. So unique,
Love that.
So, and man, I just watched Days of Thunder for probably the second or third time, but I have since I've been a big NASCAR fan. So probably last time I watched it when it came out in 90 something. And then, and my buddy loves that movie. And I texted him, I'm like, dude, I don't know how you like this movie. I mean, it was just,
I love it.
I don't know. It just made the realism, man. It got me. It was so exaggerated. It was like, it was made for somebody that doesn't watch NASCAR,
Well, but yeah, like, you got to make it like it looks out of control, right? But there's a reason why we're all pros, because we usually make stuff that's out of control look like it's in control.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make for a good movie when you have guys just driving around in circles. You got to grab an extra gear. You got to floor it through the crash, man. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. So, Corey, I'm hoping to save enough funds to make a trip out to Concord and go to the Roval weekend, see her kickball classic. And but I started thinking, and I was like, if he were to do this, I'd be there every year. And I love the Corey LaJoie's kickball classic. It does good things. But let me throw this idea by you, and I want to see if maybe it'll stick. So instead of Corey LaJoie's kickball classic, it is Corey LaJoie's dodgeball delight. You and Bubba can be on one team. And then maybe Larson Suarez, get put it on ESPN, the Ocho. I think that it'll be some good TV. No,
everybody's got their own opinion on what's going to work. I can tell you, kickball and that structure we struck gold with. The amount of competitiveness it's high, but it's not too high to where people want to kill each other. You can get people involved, males, females, young and old. Anybody can play kickball. So Austin Dillon he comes up to me. He's got a bunch of ideas. We should do this or that. And I'm like, hey, go. You can have your own, but this is what I'm going to do.
I just wanted to see drivers get pegged in the face.
Hey, well, that's fair. And if you want to do Joshua's dodgeball delight, have at it, man. But
all right,
Corey LaJoie's kickball classics for the state, third annual coming up October 5th.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. So, all right. Well, my last question before I let you off. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to come hang out with us on Team Super Shoe. So Atlanta is coming up. We're recording this a little bit early, but it's going to be posted before Atlanta. And we all kind of know the goal of Spire Motorsports, and then to try to, capitalize each race and to, the amount of investment and everything. But you also said on the USA show last year, what was it, a race for the championship? You said that the day that you finish 14th is the day that you finish 14th and you're happy is the day that you're going to retire. It makes me wonder, Atlanta coming up, you got green, white, checkered, Chase right in front of you, William Clyde. We're getting that double, right?
I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah.
It's all situational on your help and what situations you're around, who's going to push you, what lane you're in, which one's going, how your car's driving. But I can assure you that the outcome won't be the same as it was the first time.
For sure. Well, Corey, man, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. This is so cool. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to do all this. And appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you and all the support and rounding up all the troops.
All right, brother. See you.
Yeah, man.
Corey, once again, thank you so much for coming on the Shoe Show. It means a lot that you spend the time with your fans like you do, and we all feel kind of close, like friends or like family. So, man, I just appreciate it, and hope you guys kick ass at Atlanta coming up here this weekend. If you guys are listening to the audio podcast, please rate and review. Let people know that you're listening to the Shoe Show. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can comment, if you can share it on other social media platforms, it helps us out a ton. And if you guys haven't hung out with us on Facebook, that's where all of this has started. Team Super Shoe. It's a group on Facebook, and we get out there every day and we talk. We just chat. We are a community. And we talk about NASCAR, talk about Corey LaJoie, and we're not toxic, so that's good. So otherwise, y'all, I just thank you so much for another episode. This is so cool to have Corey on once again, and what a blessing. So otherwise, y'all, I'll see you on the 27th for Member of the Month. Y'all, God bless, stay safe, and go Corey LaJoie.